Being a day player, making your work editor-friendly. Most actors spend a great deal of time thinking about directors. Some spend time thinking about casting directors. Very few spend any time thinking about editors. That is a mistake. Filmmaking is a collaborative process. By the time the audience sees the finished film, hundreds of people may have contributed to it. Camera operators, sound recordists, editors, sound editors, composers, colorists, visual effects artists, and many, many others. Watch the credits roll at the end of a film, all the way to the end, and you will appreciate just how big a machine you have been part of. Now, the audience never sees what really happened on the set. What they see is what survives the editing process. And that brings me to the central question of this video, the one you should ask yourself at every stage in your preparation process. How do I make my work editor-friendly? Now, many actors assume that the editor's job is to choose between good acting and bad acting, or good takes and bad takes. In reality, the editor is usually choosing between material that helps the story and material that does not. An excellent performance that cannot be cut into the sequence will be less useful than a slightly less exciting performance that gives the editor options. The editor's first responsibility is not to preserve your performance. It is to make the scene work, then the sequence, and then the film. Most actors have never seen an editing timeline. Notice that the picture and the sound do not necessarily begin and end at the same moment. The editor may remain on one actor's face while another actor continues speaking. It has to be noted, a reaction shot is often more important and interesting than the line itself. The editor can cut early, cut late, hold on a face, reveal information, conceal information, create tension, but only if the material exists and is usable. Firstly, I will talk about reactions and pauses and why they matter so much to the editor. Why pauses matter, why listening matters, why thought processes matter. When the camera is on you, even if you are not speaking, you are still acting. You are listening, processing, judging, deciding, anticipating. There must be something happening behind the eyes. If there is a genuine thought, the editor can use it. If there is nothing there, there is nothing to use. The editor cannot cut to a dead face. A living pause is editorial gold. Now look at this. You have been cast as Xavier, the gardener. The scene takes place in the greenhouse. Baron does no good's line is followed by yours. Blah, 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 blah. Tomatoes. I have been growing. Now, if you leave a pause before you say your line, the editor now has several options. He can cut back to Bond, back to the Baron, holding on the Baron as your line comes in before Vision, a J-cut, or he can cut to you and your reaction before you say your line, an L-cut. There are several other possibilities. However, if you start to speak without leaving a pause after the Baron's line, none of those options are possible, because it is not possible to separate the video from the audio. There remain only two options. One, a straight cut as you say your line, or two, cut from the Baron to Bond and your line remains a voice off, and that remarkable reaction moment you had disappears. Obviously, the scene is not about tomatoes, but something very much deeper and more dangerous. It is a James Bond film, after all. As a day player, you probably don't know what it is, but you have an opportunity here, through your reaction, to augment the value of this scene if your reaction gets to be used. Xavier is wondering what the hell is going on. He senses the tension between the Baron and Bond, but has no idea what is causing it. Many actors are afraid of silence. By rushing cues, by speaking before the previous actor has finished, by talking over the final syllable, all of these create problems for the editor. So, if you want your work to be editor-friendly, pauses are the best way. Real pauses. Pauses which are alive and full of internal activity. Pauses which have a moment of absolute stillness before and after. If a genuine pause exists, the editor can shorten it, remove it, move it, use it as a reaction shot, use a reaction shot from take 7 and place it into take 4, and use it to slow down the rhythm and create tension. The editor will love you. What he can do with pauses is limitless. What he can do without pauses is highly restricted. Now I want to talk about continuity. The same principle applies to continuity. The famous example, of course, is the glass. In one take, the glass is in the left hand, and in the next take, it is in the right. The editor now has a problem. One or other of those takes is totally unusable. But continuity goes much deeper than just props. Breathing, gestures, eye lines, timing, the point at which the information lands, the point at which a decision is made, the point at which you inhale before speaking. All these things also create continuity. Now, the editor is trying to combine different pieces of material into a seamless whole. Help him. By going back to video 4 and looking at the techniques I mentioned, you can orchestrate your scene by using them in a way which will have the editor in tears of joy. Consistency creates continuity. Continuity means usability. Everything I have discussed in this video comes down to a single idea. Your job, what you are being paid for, is to give the production useful material. Give the editor options. Give the sound engineer information, which I will talk about in the next video. Give the script supervisor continuity. Do not create unnecessary problems for the people who must build the finished film from the material you provide. In conclusion, acting is not about what the actor feels. It's about what the actor makes the audience feel. Now, on stage, much of that is in the actor's hands. On screen, the process is collaborative. Actor, camera, editor, audience. The editor is not your enemy. The editor is the medium through which your work reaches the audience. The actor who gives the editor lots of options tends to grow in the edit. The actor who gives the editor few options tends to shrink. So, do everything possible to make your work editor-friendly.